Hey y'all, good morning. Thank you for joining me for some real talk from the heart this morning. This morning's real talk is from Psalm 42. Psalm 42 verses 1 and 2. Let me read this to you and we'll get into our real talk. David says, "As the deer pants for the water brooks, so pants my soul for you, O God. My soul thirsts for God, for the living God. When shall I come and appear before you?" Man, I love the heart. The sons of Korah here, the contemplation of the sons of Korah. This is what we were created for. Man, you and I were created with a God-given thirst. Listen, for God. That's what this psalm is saying, right? It gives, of course, the illustration of a deer panting, man, thirsty, parched, just desiring strongly, right, something to drink. And inside you and me, God has placed in our very soul, in our inmost being, in our person, God has placed a thirst, a longing, a strong desire, listen, for Him. This psalm says, "So pants my soul for you, O God." Not for your stuff, not for your blessing, not for the healing, not for anything, right? Longing for the very person of God. It says, "My soul thirsts for God." And then it says, "For the living God." The living God. There's only one living God. It's emphatic. It's the living God. And the living God created you and me for Himself. And with that, again, I want to reiterate, He placed in you and me this longing in the heart, this longing in the soul for Him. And the question, when shall I come and appear before God? Or as another translation says, when shall I see the face of God? You know, in this world, you can thirst for a lot of things, and they will never quench your thirst. It's okay to have, listen, it's okay to have some different endeavors, some different goals, some different missions in life, maybe perhaps even a hobby. It's okay to have those things. But let's keep it real. None of those things were you and I created for, and none of those things have the ability in and of themselves to quench the thirst in the soul. Only God can do that. And how does that take place, beloved? That takes place through an intimate, meaningful love relationship with God. Religion can't do it. All these other pursuits can't do it. Only that intimate relationship with the Lord will do it. It's the only thing that'll quench that thirst in your soul. I mean, you can go on vacations, man. You can drink all the beer. You can smoke all the bud. You can take all the pills. You can buy this thing and that thing. None of those things will quench that God-given thirst in your soul. God created it in such a way that only He can fulfill that. And listen, there are many people going broke. There are many people going depressed and crazy and downcast. As a matter of fact, in that psalm, David says, why are you cast down, on my soul? Hope in God. He says, I will pray a prayer to the God of my life. Right? That is where it's at. Hoping in God. Having that open communication, that love communication with God. It's going to quench that thirst in your soul like nothing else. Like nothing else. And the mark of a soul that is thirsting after God is that question there in verse 2. When shall I come and appear before God? Or as I said, another rendering is when shall I see God, right, face to face? That's how you know when your soul is thirsty for God, is because you want to be with Him more than anything. Like that deer panting, right? Again, strongly desiring, man, to quench that thirst. Hey, listen, man, I hope this challenged you. Maybe you would ask yourself today, man, do I got that thirst? Do I got that longing? Is there that yearning in my heart for the face of God, for the presence of God, for that love relationship with God? Is there a yearning there? Is there a longing there? Man, I hope there is, man. This really, as I was reading it this morning, it's like, man, Dallas, does that describe you? Does that deer panting, does that describe you and your relationship with God? That you're yearning for Him? Or have you begun to yawn, right? Are you yearning or yawning? Man, what's the attitude of your heart towards the Lord this morning? Man, I was challenged by this. I hope you were too. The Lord loves you. Man, I love you too. Praying for you. Asking that you please be praying for me as well. Thank you for those of you that have been praying for me. Seems like I'm on the upside of this sinus infection, cold virus thing that's going around. So I'm thankful to God for that. And I'm thankful for you praying for me. Hey, man, God bless y'all. Have a great Friday. Have a great weekend, man. God bless y'all.